I've lived in England for my whole life, but I'm ethnically Chinese. 100% purebred, grain-fed, free-range Chinese. I may not be the best Chinese person, but I am Chinese nonetheless. People might read the title and think that I'm ashamed to be Asian or something, which is not at all the case. I don't know if this is a weird thing to say, but I've never really cared about what race I was. I mean, it's not like I picked it. I didn't get some character creation screen like it's an open world RPG or anything. I was born and that was that. But for whatever reason, when I entered secondary school in London, 13-year-old me just got into the habit of lying about what race I was as a joke. My school had a lot of Asian people, and naturally, whenever I started to talk to anyone, it was inevitable that the question of ethnicity would come up at some point. I told so many different people, different races, that I'm sure that there are people that, to this day, are none the wiser as to where I'm actually from. I must have listed off nearly all of East Asia, and I never got called out for it. I think there are two main reasons why people never questioned it. Either they don't want to seem ignorant, or what's more likely is that they would never suspect I was lying because it's just a really stupid thing to lie about. Before anyone starts saying that I'm a compulsive liar or whatever, let me just say that I basically never lie about anything that's actually important. I mostly do this just to wind people up because at the end of the day, it's completely harmless. Anyway, one of the funniest results of this was born from a rather insignificant conversation I had when I entered sixth form. For the non-Brits, sixth form is what we call the two final years when you're around 16 to 18. It's common for people to change schools for sixth form, and we had a pretty large influx of new students. A decent chunk of these students were from China, and since nearly none of them had family in England, it would have been difficult for them to live by themselves. However, my school was a partial boarding school. Some of us boarded, but most didn't. Most houses only had day students, but some had a mix of boarders and day students. And these were the houses with boarding rooms. If you don't know what I mean by house in this context, just think of Gryffindor or Hufflepuff from Harry Potter. Does this house have any characters that are remotely relevant? And not dead? Anyhow, on our first day back to school, our housemaster told us we were getting 4 new boarders who were all transferring from China. This was pretty exciting since, up until that point, there had only been 3 other people from my year who lived there. To welcome the new sixth formers, every house had an outing. One of the houses went paintballing, one went on a boat trip down the Thames, one went to mini-golf, which I love, and ours went to the Tate Modern. I'm sure plenty of people find it interesting, but come on, who thought this was the best bonding experience for a bunch of 16-year-olds? In a way, it actually did kind of bring us together because we all just left to go to the play area and talked about how much we would rather be paintballing or playing mini-golf. At some point, I introduced myself to each of the 4 new Chinese boarders, and every single one of them asked that beautiful question. So, where in Asia are you from? Now, I was very careful about this. I figured that there was a strong chance that the 4 of them were going to end up getting close, since they could all bond over the fact that they didn't know anyone. While unlikely, there was a chance that I would come up in conversation, and it might not take long for my lie to become exposed. So, I made sure to tell all of them that I was from Korea. You know, like a liar. While that would normally be the end of that, one of them did actually probe a bit further with stuff like, do you speak Korean? What do you like doing there? Etc, etc. Since I have always lived in England, I just responded with, yeah, I never learned Korean growing up and I haven't visited since I was like 5. So I don't remember it. I would love to go again when I'm older though. Thankfully, that was enough to satisfy them. Now, after this, I had completely forgotten that this was a thing I had lied about, and I spent the next 2 years not thinking about it. In 2020, 2 years later, COVID happened. As a result, we didn't get to take our exams and we got sent home early from school. Since we weren't sure if we would ever see some of our classmates again, everyone went around saying their goodbyes. I didn't really know many people that well because I was incredibly introverted, but I did take the time to wish the other boarders the best. I ended up chatting for a while with one of the transfer students that was in my house. He was always super friendly, and we like some of the same K-pop bands, so we got along quite well. So, do you think you'll visit Korea at some point? Huh? You mentioned that you wanted to visit Korea once you graduated, right? Oh my god. So, I'm not Korean, I'm actually Chinese. I was just joking when I said that. Alright. Well, I should get going. Have a safe trip back to China. Don't worry, he actually took it quite well and found it funny, so we're all good. Once again, I promise I don't lie that much. It makes me feel bad, and I'm just really bad at lying if it's about something significant. I'm kind of curious how many people from my school actually know where I'm from. Anyway, thank you for watching until the end of the video. If you enjoyed it and want to see more of the stupid stuff I've done, please consider subscribing. I am going to try to post more this year, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.